of things that went into that, and that is the result that we have.
There is litigation involving that's been moved to another county. Where is that taking place?
Natrona County.
In Natrona County, okay. All right, and then the other thing, I received a forwarded email to me yesterday showing two paintings. It looks like they're actually painted on the wall of the high school that promote homosexuality. Were you aware that those were up?
I'm not. I haven't seen those.
You haven't seen those? I thought this email went to the school board. Anyway, do you think that the Riverton High School should be promoting homosexuality?
When you look at, and I haven't seen those, John. When you look at tolerance and acceptance, those are things that we deal with within our student body. That's I think an important thing, that we understand that people are different and have acknowledgement of that. Doesn't mean people always agree with that, but we do have to have a tolerance of those differences that people have. There are a lot of differences that students have in their belief, in their appearance, in their thoughts, and that's part of the process of developing those as I said, acknowledgments and understanding of what does exist within our students and within our society.
Well, one of these is like the rainbow flag, and it has the letters LGBTQ plus, and then below it a little red heart, and it says love is love, and then above it it says KG plus MS minus KM. I don't know what those initials mean.
I don't either.
Love is, I don't know what love is love means. That's strange. The other one is a heart with LGBT in the center of it, and a circle above it, which I don't know, looks kind of like a halo, and then a black heart to the left with the paint kind of running down around the edges. And, there are certain diverse elements of individuals that are certainly fine, but the homosexual lifestyle has been demonstrated to be very destructive medically. High disease rates in the homosexual population, very high suicide rates in the homosexual population. And do you think that's something that we should encourage in our high school kids?
As you know, we can't discriminate against those classes. That's a personal opinion that you have there, but we can't have a discrimination based on sexual orientation. That would be a violation of the civil rights. And
actually, sexual orientation is not included in the Civil Rights Act. So it's not a violation. I just read that the other day. I guess my concern is for the kids, because this is a very destructive lifestyle. Have you known any homosexuals, Terry?
Absolutely.
So have I. And they have, all but one case, have come to very tragic ends. In the one case that didn't, turned his back on the homosexual lifestyle and went back to his wife and kids. So I'm very well acquainted with it. I knew homosexuals in the 70s before HIV was even discovered. And here's the thing. The lifestyle is glorified by the people that want to accept it and accept it as a viable alternative, but they ignore all of the bad aspects of it. They ignore the fact that I mentioned the rates of disease, sexually transmitted diseases, and other diseases, and the high suicide rate and the wreckage that it provides to families. These things are conveniently glossed over. And I'm concerned, particularly with the incident of sexual harassment between boys on the wrestling bus, and now this display of these paintings in the hallway of the high school, that maybe there's a cultural problem in our schools. And I mean, I think the welfare of our children is a grave responsibility, And so, not that these things can't be discussed. I think they should be discussed. There are certainly issues, but homosexuality is not a healthy lifestyle. It's not just a simple viable alternative. All of the facts rail against that idea.
John, well, you've portrayed our opinions, and I think maybe some dated opinions. Actually, I do know individuals that have a different sexual orientation, hardworking, quality of life. They don't all die because of AIDS, John.
Not now.
And so to portray that is that I don't think that is an accurate description. When we look at what you talk about those issues, we also are taking disciplinary actions on the individuals that are involved, and I think that is something that people understand, that we're not going to tolerate the behaviors that some kids have with that, and we're gonna be very firm on that. So I don't think that creates a culture. I don't think that just the actions of a small number of students creates a culture, John.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is what you said.
No, I said
that is what you said. You asked that question.
I said in combination with these paintings, I said I'm concerned that there might be a cultural problem. And you disagree.
Well, when we look at the need to provide a learning environment for all kids, we're not going to discriminate against kids because of religious belief, sexual orientation. Every kid has a right to an education. That's what we're going to provide, John.
I'm not saying that.
And for you to paint them that they are the evil of society, I don't believe that's fair.
Did I say that?
You came pretty close to it, John.
But I didn't say that.
Well, John, when you look at inferential meaning that you create, we all know that comprehension and language comes from the words that we say.
You know, Terry, this is, I don't think we're furthering discussion here. If you believe, as I do, and all the scientific evidence points to the fact that the homosexual lifestyle is destructive to individuals, to families, and to society. Otherwise, why does our moral code, the Bible, forbid that? I'm not saying that they shouldn't receive an equal education. I'm not saying that they shouldn't even be allowed to paint what they're painting. My concern is that it's displayed on the halls of the school. You know, I could be in an art class, which would be a joke, frankly, and not anything that I painted would be worthy of display on the halls of the school. Anyway, I'll give you the last word, and then let's move on to the school board meeting.
It's our responsibility to educate all kids, regardless of their beliefs and regardless of their positions, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I know people have differences in thought and differences in belief, but yet that's what we have to do. We can't use our personal beliefs about individuals to determine what education they're going to get, and so that's how we're going to continue on.
Can you take a question from a caller, Terry? Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Let me get him up here. All right, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question for the superintendent. Is the superintendent going to be as flexible with regard to Christian messages on the walls of Riverton High School as homosexual messages?
We definitely have. We have a separation of church and state. People understand that, but we know that we have students that wear a cross to school. We allow those displays. We have a number of circumstances that display their beliefs, and those things are allowed. We have our pledge to the flag. All those things involve God in reference to that. So yes, we do those. So those things are part of what we do, and one of the things I think that has been good here in Wyoming from my previous experience is that we do have even Christmas songs, Christmas trees. that's a religious holiday. Other districts I've been in, you couldn't even do that. So we try to keep that piece of what we think is the culture of this community present and represented. Yes.
Well, I want to thank Mr. Birbari for bringing that to the community's attention. Thank you, Mr. Birbari.
You're welcome. Anything else?
No. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks for
Goodbye.
the call. Okay. Next.
Well, I had a superintendent